A lot of news today going around, I see. And to be honest, where do I even begin here? Well, I do want to say something before Monday Night Raw, though. Number one, I know this has been reported all day. I thought they was actually going to announce this on the show tonight to what I've read today, but I do want to speak on one thing that everyone has been talking about right now before I begin this Raw review, because there's a lot to say about that too. I just want to say something real quick on the whole NXT, well, reportedly being moved to the USA Network next month in September, and will be a 2-hour show. There are positives and negatives to this. Mostly negative to what I've seen from people online and people I know too that do not like it, because Vince McMahon is reportedly involved with this, and Vince is part of it, and then everybody is pretty much going to say he's going to ruin the show like he has ruined Raw and SmackDown before. And this is what I've known from NXT. Do I think it's a good idea to put it in 2 hours? Yes and no. No, because it's going to overexpose things, I feel like. I do believe it can get more people, to get some mic time or some TV time on there, yes. But to what I've heard, that they're going to be putting main roster guys back on NXT also, so that's another thing. Now, I understand this is a move to one-up AEW a month before they hit TV in October. Now, the rumor was that NXT was going to be moving to FS1, but since SmackDown will not be on Fox, they're going to be on Fox in the next few months, there will be no other wrestling show other than Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. So now that they want to put NXT on Wednesdays live, I believe it's going to be a live show every week if I'm not mistaken. I believe it will still be in Full Sail University, but it looks like things are going to be a little bit longer nowadays in NXT. Now, I don't know whose move this was to turn in, most likely Vince's and everything. I'm not sure how much Triple H wanted it on Wednesdays and stuff. Now, there's a lot of questions behind this. Will this still be on the WWE Network on Wednesdays when the show happens, or are we just going to stick to the USA Network when they go 2 hours now live in September? Because a lot of people I've already seen people just already saying this is not going to work. Okay, this isn't that. And trust me, I'm kind of agreeing with that too. I don't know if this is going to really work out that well all the way, putting NXT on the USA Network for 2 hours. Like I said before, this is obviously a move to one-up AEW. I'm sure anyone is going to say that. I don't know if a lot can come from this. And I've watched NXT, don't get me wrong, I like it, but I'm just used to it being an hour. I think it just leaves you wanting more, and it's already good with just being an hour of itself. Making the show 2 hours now, I don't know. The last time you really saw NXT on the USA Network was kind of, I think it was in the winter time, if I remember, when WWE was doing that WWE week thing, and they had NXT on Wednesday. They had NXT Wednesday on the USA Network, and that was kind of like a one-time thing. But now, since they're going to be moving there permanently, as being reported, because when they said, I read the report that WWE was supposed to be talking about it today, they didn't really talk about it on the show tonight. So there are some positives and negatives, but like I said, the reception I've seen right now is very negative. So what I heard, they're trying to say McMahon, what is supposed to be helping the characters. I already know he's more involved, but I don't know if it's gonna like a character thing or something like that he's supposed to be helping out with. But I'm not sure how much good can come from this, to be honest, and being a 2-hour show. So, because what is it going to be when AEW comes on Wednesdays? And I believe this will be at the same time, too. Are we now going to see AEW versus NXT? Do we have to start flipping channels back and forth, since both of these shows are going to be a 2-hour programming thing now? So, it's like they won a war, okay? And don't get me wrong, Cody's been in my opinion, I feel like Cody has kind of wanted this war for some reason. I know they don't. And I know the Young Bucks have responded today also. If you go look at their Twitter, they aren't scared. So they're not scared of NXT being on Wednesdays, because they're gonna be on Wednesdays. And don't get me wrong, we've seen Cody take numerous shots, which is a lot of it in Triple H for this whole thing. So I do believe a war is coming. I'm not saying we're gonna have the Monday Night Wars back with Raw and WCW and Nitro, but I do see some type of war coming from this, though. I really do. So I'm not sure on the time when this show will be on and that, but showing that, there is a lot to be seen from this. So right now, all I can say is that we will wait and see to what happens. But it's just I will say they didn't announce it on Raw tonight. But when I read this report, like I said, I knew they were rumored going to be on FS1. I just didn't really think they were going to be moving to the USA Network now. Can this go good? I don't know. But with Vince involved in NXT, it's almost like touching something that's good and it's going to die. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But being 2 hours, could it overexpose things like I said earlier? Possibly. Or most likely, to be honest. So we'll see what happens from this. But since this was just being talked all over today, I'm surprised they didn't really talk about it on Raw tonight, which it was supposed to be. But we'll find out. Maybe SmackDown tomorrow they'll talk about it. But kicking off Monday Night Raw, though, St. Paul, Minnesota. We kicked it off with the best performance fighter. The best performance fighter. No one calls themselves a wrestler in this company anymore, it looks like. But the best performance fighter, Roman Reigns, folks. Wow, that's hilarious to me. The best performance fighter. Something about that is funny. I was listening to Solomon, see what he said is going to be next. Simulated combat soldiers. Performance fighter. I've never heard of a performance fighter. That's so lame. That just sounds so bad. He's not a professional wrestler. He's a performance fighter. Roman Reigns. All his family are wrestlers, but the guy is so pro WWE right now. I just seen the interviews lately. He is now a performance fighter. I have never heard of some name like that. Somebody online, could be Cornette or others, would bury that for him for saying something like that. But that is so lame and ridiculous to me. It makes no sense. But Roman Reigns is out here as Renee Young, Michael Cole, and Jerry the King Lawler was on commentary. They said Corey Graves has the week off. So that is a positive. You don't have to hear him and Renee go back and forth with each other this week. And everything. They pretty much had a video package showing Roman Reigns who tried to murder him. Next thing you know, Dolph Ziggler, I don't know even why he's even here, but he came out and fans chanting "You suck" at Ziggler. It just was a little bit booze from Roman Reigns, but that turned quickly. But pretty much Ziggler says, "Listen, all these fans here and the keyboard warriors gonna complain and stuff, but you know, I was speared by Goldberg 3 times. Why am I doing this match?" And, you know, talk about Shawn Michaels super kicking him and stuff. And Maurice's husband. And, you know, beat him with Ric Flair's move and stuff. The figure 4. Ziggler pretty much, he kept talking and talking, which I didn't even know where he was going at this point. Until he was about to say, "It should have been me." He super kicked Roman. This began a match, which wasn't really bad, to be honest, but because Ziggler was taking him out first, but Reigns did pick up the win with the spear. That did look pretty good, taking Ziggler out. Now, here's the thing that doesn't make sense to me about this. And yes, I know it's a wild card rule, so that's why we got SmackDown guys on Monday Night Raw. But let me get this straight. So we're talking about. I'm thinking this. We're not going to further the story of who tried to kill Roman Reigns, but you played an entire video package. We know Daniel Bryan as the real culprit, and nothing was played out tonight. You couldn't have done this match on SmackDown to kick off the show. If you wanted to kick off the show tonight, I would have kicked it off with one of the King of the Ring matches. That's what I would have kicked it off with. Because now I'm sitting there like, what does this mean? Dolph Ziggler, the guy continues to look like a freaking loser out there. Job guy, pretty much. I question why he's in this company, but hey, the man had a handshake deal with Vince McMahon, pretty much to what I've been hearing, that, hey, Vince would have paid him to stay at home, if necessary. They don't want any of these guys going anywhere in WWE except there, so, hey, double pay to sit at home, but Like I said, I guess I don't know, somehow Ziggler was almost done. Was he done with his contract? But him and Vince had a handshake deal, so he's still here. But dude, like, who really cares about Dolph Ziggler? Seriously. I'm sure people are going to say, I've been hearing this tonight, well, he got great heat out there. People chanting, you suck. They booed at him. But, dude, who's really giving a fuck about Ziggler at this point in the game? I don't know. Roman, why does he win? Because he's the best performance fighter. Of course he is. Nothing was furthered for this story tonight. So, what was the point of this match and him even being on this show? But it's like they had to kick it off with Roman because I believe they look at him as a ratings draw. But, hey, that's wild card for you folks. The real story, you got to wait till tomorrow night on SmackDown. Nothing was furthered into this but that. So that's all you're going to get from Roman and everything. So there you go. Next thing went to Becky Lynch's promo, which was probably one of the best things of the night. Very great promo, by the way, as she pretty much says, you know, people, they want to ask all the time, why do you keep calling out people? Because I want to fight the best. And that Sasha Banks, she's one of the best right now. She went away from WWE for 4 months, and her career was cold as ice. But now, since she's came back, she's hot as ever now at this point. And why is that? Why is she so hot now after her vacation and everything? Because she's done nothing. I've been out here putting in the work and everything. That Sasha's one of the greatest to never be great. And that Becky pretty much went on to say that, you know, I put in more work than Banks getting, you know, helping Banks get into WWE to what she's actually done, okay? She doesn't need to be goated into greatness and stuff. That this is now a cat and mouse game, okay? Because now it's going to be a back and forth thing, all right? I'm going to be seeking her out now. And, you know, when I'm done with Sasha, I'll send her home with something to cry about. So, great promo from Becky Lynch. Probably one of the best on it. That was great. Jerry Lawler came out. He was here to do the King's Court. He was supposed to have Sasha Banks interviewed on here. But he started talking about the King of the Ring. Since, you know, we got to get the King of the Ring over one way or another. So, now we got Lawler doing his best to try to get, I don't know what was that they had him come out there and say that for. But they're trying to make this look important. He tried to talk about how prestigious the King of the Ring was. It was a launching pad, and talked about guys like Austin and Brett and Brock Lesnar and stuff. And, you know, talk about the brackets. And next thing you know, Bray Wyatt's music, well, it's not his music, but the Fiend's music or a light thing start going off. Jerry Lawler, who has a brain, instead of standing in the ring waiting for the guy to attack him, he says, oh, no, I've seen this before. He got out of the ring and walked to the top of the stage, so at least he didn't look like an idiot just standing there waiting for him to get attacked. He tried to run, but Wyatt came up from behind. He gave him the mandible claw. Is this guy now beating up legends every week? Is this Bray Wyatt's new gimmick? Or, as my friend would like to call him, the new legend killer. So he's Randy Orton now? I don't know. But he hit him with a mandible claw and pretty much said, let me in. As Lawler was still on the ground, some fans did chant, yowie wowie. Now it was kind of done to the top of the stage, yeah. But at least Lawler tried to get out of Dodge instead of standing there like a freaking idiot. So at least he just stood, you know, he tried to get out. No Sasha promo, you had to wait till that later in the night. But, you know, at least Lawler was smart enough to try to run. Is Wyatt's new gimmick going to be beating up legends every week? I don't know. And with Lawler out, they brought in Vic Joseph from 205 Live to do commentary, which, you know, he wasn't bad tonight. Some people said that Cole took a step back so they could try to let this guy kind of lead off on things. I've seen the guy on, you know, NXT UK and 205. I think the guy is good. I would have put Booker T out there for this, but we'll get to him in a second. But hey, that's one positive, getting him a chance to get his feet wet out there on Monday Night Raw. Now they can just get rid of Renee Young and get a different commentator. Then I want no problem with it. Then Cole, I've already shitted on Cole as much as I could, so I'm not gonna go into that right now. But Joseph, I thought Joseph did good tonight. I thought he did fine. Wasn't that bad. But as they talked about the King of the Ring, then of course, they had a throne, a crown, and a scepter out there, which, hey, one-dimensional king gimmick, folks. So, there you go. They then went to a tag match preview for next week's qualifying matches. Quarterfinal matches. Ricochet and The Miz are Nightwing there versus Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin finally being back on TV from being gone for a minute. The waiter himself, which, you know, he was still wearing the dress shirt, but at least he took it off and had a tank top on this time. The match wasn't bad or anything. Deep Six looked kind of sloppy, but Ricochet won with the recoil on Corbin, which pretty much tells me if there's one thing I know about tournaments, and especially preview matches, and I've watched enough New Japan to know this type of shit. Whenever it's a preview match, and that team beats the other team, you know who's losing. Ricochet being Corbin, don't be surprised if Corbin win next week. Don't be surprised, people. I'm saying that right now. Ricochet won the match tonight. Oh yeah, he won. But he's losing to Corbin next week. Is he going against Corbin or is he going against McIntyre? No, he's going against McIntyre. But my point is this. With that team winning, don't be surprised if Corbin does win against Miz, though. I will not be surprised by that. Or even Ricochet if it comes in later into that. And McIntyre winning too. So that's my opinion of that. Look at that. You see that? That's what we call a phone ringing. But as I was saying, no. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I've seen enough preview tag matches to know who's gonna win. I did like the lighting though for the Head King of the Ring, for they just kind of turned it back to red, you know, for Raw and stuff. Then, but I can probably tell who's really gonna win. Like I said, I know it's Ricochet. I know it's different, but don't be surprised if Corbin wins. Don't be surprised, people. I'm not. Some people wouldn't be surprised if the guy wins the whole damn tournament. I wouldn't be surprised at that too. Okay? So just don't be. They then went to Sasha Banks being interviewed. Michael Cole was talking to her as pretty much, well, that's Sasha Banks interview. They went to Booker T. So it's every week now we're gonna have Legends Skype call the commentary team now. It's just the thing. You had Stone Cold on there last week to get his TV show over and try to put over Seth, which I thought they were gonna do again just to try to get this guy over. But I guess they talked about why, you know, the whole Fiend attacking Lawler and that Wyatt is a rabid dog. He's at the wrong place at the wrong time. And he talked about the King of the Ring because he's won the King of the Ring also. And, you know, talked about guys like Harley Race and Randy Savage winning it. And it puts a point different in your career right now. So, they said Booker T selected Drew McIntyre to win. So that's his pick. Are we doing Skype calls every week now? Like, where's this going? Because I'm trying to figure out where this is kind of playing into right now. Next, though, AJ Styles went against Braun Strowman for the United States Championship. It's not much safe in this because they ended up in a DQ. Gallows and Anderson got involved, but Seth Rollins came out for the save then. Pretty much knocking them both out of the ring as he pretty much shook Braun Strowman's hand off him. A handshake. Pretty much Strowman accepted, like he got shook a little bit hard, but, you know, they shook hands and stuff then. But pretty much then right after, Rollins was talking to Strowman, says, listen, man, I know what you want. You're first in line for a title shot against me. But let's take out the OC tonight, and we're going to get some, we're going to get those tag titles tonight, all right? Got it? All right, good. I'm going to go set out the plan. I'm going to get this match ready. Strowman, look, you just kind of standing there looking like he really want to do this. But, you know, for some reason, Seth Rollins was so eager to tag. We're going to get those tag belts tonight. So there you go on that. Samoa Joe went against Cesaro in a pretty much the quarterfinal for the King of the Ring. Good match. I know it was a heel versus heel thing right here, but I did like it. Pretty good. I like the kind of end sequence to it. From the sharpshooter into a crossface. Cesaro hitting a good big swing. Joe was kind of heavy to pick up, but he got 3 of them. But Joe got out of it. Pretty much Cesaro was about to hit the neutralizer. I don't know why they said neuralizer, but I thought it was a neutralizer. He was about to hit that. Joe flipped him. Pretty much him in the Coquina clutch. Immediate tap out by Cesaro. So Samoa Joe does move on. I'm not surprised by this. I'm kind of doing something with Joe. So I don't know why they guess once again Cesaro's losing again. But hey, at least Joe had something going on. Or at least Joe's won the match. So at least he's going somewhere with this. But it was a good match though. I thought it was a joy. It was pretty good brawl out there. I will say that. Why is this ringing again, huh? But yes, a good match from Joe and Cesaro though. Next in, they went to the 24/7 title. I guess they showed some footage from YouTube of Elias I guess he was doing something in a studio with a piano. Spud was dressed up as, I don't even know what he was dressed up as. All I know is he tried to win the title from Elias. Elias, it was a bad wig at a recording studio, but Elias beat him up in the studio and stuff, interrupting him. So they go from that. Elias then was in the ring as he kind of had some problems with his technical issues with the KOTR and everything, saying this will be his farewell performance tonight, and he had problems talking. It was a bad sound check because he has so much going on with the 24/7 title and King of the Ring right now that he doesn't have time to perform. And as he couldn't get a KOTR going, pretty much he told someone in production, say, like, give me a better KOTR here. So a guy threw it in the ring, but pretty much says, you're going to hand me the KOTR, okay? Whoever this production crew guy was actually R-Truth. Pretty much took his hood off and started attacking Elias then. Had the referee right behind him. He did hit the lie detector with the scissors kick on him. It did not work, but Truth had got the KOTR in after he tried to pin him several times. He tried to hit Elias with it, but Elias escaped with the 24/7 title again there, folks. So somehow he made it up. I'm already seeing people saying that 24/7 belt's going to be defended on NXT also, so don't be surprised at that too. Rey Mysterio then was next in a very emotional promo, talking about he's been fortunate to have a wonderful career, and he's met people all over the world that's just friends, but he said that Almas ripping up his mask was a disgrace, and that the biggest insult for a luchador is taking off someone's mask. And he sees the next, what's his next move gonna be? But he says his body doesn't seem to respond, and he fears that injuries caught up to him. And Mysterio said, maybe it's time to just hang up the mask and let the new generation make their way in. And before he almost took off his mask, his son Dominic stopped him then. Which, he was kind of, I don't know, his promo was okay, but he talked about how, listen, alright, we could be a team. It was a team when we debut, alright, how about this, alright, and listen, I want to, tell that, my children that I was a partner with their grandfather, my father, Rey Mysterio. I need you to stay. I don't need you to retire. As they both looked at each other, and he says, I will do it for you because I love you, son. And they hugged each other then. Was a bad segment, I will say that. I guess Dominic is gonna wrestle now, looks like. I do not know how good this guy is. For a minute there, I thought he was about to take the mantle of Rey Mysterio, become Rey Mysterio 3 or Rey Mysterio the 3rd, because it is Rey Mysterio Jr. is the second Rey Mysterio, technically. So there you go on that. I'm sure people are saying that they haven't booked Rey Mysterio well. Well, they haven't really booked the guy well in months, if you ask me. It's been kind of up and down with him. I guess this is a way to keep him, because I heard AEW wants the guy anyways, which I think Rey would kill over there in general. But but I guess they're gonna tag team now, because almost beat him up and almost took his mask, and now he's questioning his career. But now he's going to team with his son. I don't know where this is going to be. Will his son turn on Rey Mysterio? So it'll be a match. I don't know what to take from this, okay? I just know Rey had an emotional promo out there, but I don't know, man. The way they booked Mysterio in months now, it ain't been the best thing going on from that. So we'll see where this goes, since Dominic will be involved. I don't know. I've never seen a guy wrestle. I know he's been training to wrestle, but when he debuts, I don't know how this little team thing is going to work with Rey and his son, but we will see what comes from this. The New Day went against the Revival, pretty much a match we saw on SmackDown last Tuesday, even though it was a 6-man, but hey, that's a wild card for you folks. They talked about how they were wearing snakeskin boots out there. For a minute, I was going to say they would get it from Jake Roberts, but oh yeah, Snake, Randy Orton. The match didn't really go down with that much, other than Big E was about to go across the ropes. Randy Orton shows up, hits an RKO, actually woke the crowd up, because I don't think nobody cared about this tag match, and the Revival got literally no reaction when they came out there, but it felt like crickets when you just listen. But pretty much Kofi then came out to help the New Day. Kofi had got the upper hand at one point, but Orton pretty much dropped one to RKO. He was going to go for another one, but Woods had stopped him then. The Revival pretty much hit a almost like a shatter machine, but into an RKO that looked very precision made on there. I thought that was great. Just kind of like they just kind of lifted him up and Orton hit the RKO. It was like a flapjack almost. I wanted to call it the shatter KO. Shatter KO. That doesn't sound bad. Or I don't know. Shatter RKO. I may say shatter KO. That sounds kind of better. Shatter KO. Could this be a team or something since Orton was kind of barking orders out there to the Revival? I don't know. Or does he need their help right now until he kind of turns and RKOs both of them? But Shatter KO, that ain't a bad finishing move. Yeah, it's not. Shatter KO. I'm not going to say Shatter or... Nah, that RKO machine. That's too... Yeah, I'll stick with Shatter KO. Shatter KO. That doesn't sound like a bad name. I'll admit that. That does not sound like a bad name. Shatter KO. But pretty much then, Orton, I don't know, the Revival, I guess, had Woods in the figure 4. Wilder pretty much stopped up the top and jumping on Woods' knee as, Orton forced Kofi to watch. So, yeah, I guess they're still trying to get this Kofi versus Orton thing over. Like I said, you can't do it on SmackDown, but hey, that's wild card for you, folks, okay? They then went next to Sasha Banks, who was backstage as Cole interviewed her, talked about what she'd done. Banks said it's been an emotional week for her, that she looked in the mirror and told herself that blue is her color, and that blue is all over social media, so she wanted to show up and show out for it, and that she feels and looks better. Cole said, I don't know, this was kind of dumb. He said no one was talking about her blue hair. I don't know where the fuck you got that from, but that was kind of one of the biggest things last week was her hair being blue. And then, Cole, she asked, like, why did you attack Becky Lynch? And Natalya, as she was grieving for her dad, why are we... Yeah, and I'm going to get to this later in the next part of the segment when they come back up. But once again, we got to use Natalya's dad in an angle, one of these death angles. I'm not with this whole thing. I'm not with this whole disrespect to the dead thing. I just think it's dumb, but they keep doing this to try to get... They look like the only thing they're doing to get Natalya's sympathy. But pretty much Sasha just looked on and said, "You're welcome," and she left. So not a bad promo. They didn't want to give too much out, so that was pretty good. A match I do not care about next. The women's tag titles. It was a non-title, but Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Pretty much Bliss and Nikki Cross have beaten all the women's tag teams now, I guess, at this point. You beat the Iconics by yourselves. They beat the Kabuki Warriors, and now they've beaten Sasha, Sonya, and Mandy. Or Fire and Desire, or whatever the team they're called. What other teams are on this division? I don't even freaking know. You've beaten them all in 9 titles. Why should I care about this? I just know Nikki Cross got the pin. Nobody looked like they cared in this crowd either. It felt like crickets out there. So, personally, I said kill the belts, but some people think I'm going a little bit too far at this point. Yeah, the booking is bad for the women, and they don't know what they're doing. So, that's my opinion. But, yeah, I just don't care, all right? I just don't care about these belts or whatever team is doing. And I just think Bliss is just horrible anyways. But, hey, they got Nikki Cross out there to try and make it look good by comparison, I guess. So, there you go. Rollins was talking about their tag title match. Well, Strowman, their tag title match tonight. Saying, gonna say, follow my lead and everything. But Strowman says, gonna follow my lead and we'll walk out as the tag champions. Sami Zayn went against Cedric Alexander in a qualifying match. This was not really a match in general, like 3 minutes. All I know is that Sami Zayn won with a lumbar check. Looked a little bit missed for some reason, but Sami Zayn lost. Cedric Alexander wins. He moves on. I'm not very surprised of Cedric winning. Just, it was a 3-minute match. They continue to job out Sami Zayn. I'll never know why, but the guy is just still a job guy out there. Okay, so there you go. Still jobbing. But they went to the Street Profits next, who did not have their NXT tag titles with them for some odd reason. I don't know what's about that, but pretty much they talk about their brackets and everything. Dawkins was pissed because he was that, he had Cesaro going to the final, so it's all messed up. Before it said, we got SmackDown tomorrow, so you may still have a chance to win this whole thing, all right? But Dawkins says that, why don't we got King of the Ring tag tournament, huh? Ford pretty much took off his glass, said, because we already kings, all right? Now, do I really think we need a King of the Ring tag tournament? Maybe one day, or some type of tournament, but I wouldn't say King of the Ring tournament, though. But, hey, one can only know, I guess. Street Profits, but yeah, they continue to show up on here before. I don't know where the NXT belts are, so I don't know. They went to Natalia then, who was talking. Her arm was in a sling. She talked about the anniversary of her father's death, which people started to give her what chance. So no one seemed to care. And that Sasha was one of her closest friends, and she could wrap it around her head about one of the most vulnerable times in her life. Fans continued to chant what at Natalia, so they did not care. Sasha just pretty much ended up attacking her, which the people cheered for her, by the way, too. So Sasha beat up Natalia, threw her like on the wall and stuff, and pretty much, slam her arm and everything. And she told Natalia to go to hell and tell your daddy that I said hi. So pretty much at this point, WWE is just using Jim Neidhart's death to get Natalia over. It's not working because the fans do not care, and this is like 2 weeks now that they do not care. They were kind of giving her what treatment last week when she kept bringing up her dad, and now you've done it again, and she got louder what chant you can hear on TV. So who is the heel and who is the face in all this? Because people are cheering Sasha and they're booing Natalia because they do not care. So where is this going? But yeah, like I said before, WWE using death angles again. It just don't work. I'm just gonna go on and keep saying that. But now does it get Sasha over as a vicious heel that doesn't give a fuck, looking like a savage? Yes, it does. I will say that. But like I said, I'm like, we gotta use someone's definite angle again. So is this gonna work out? Well, not really. All right. But some people are gonna say you're complaining too much when I bring up stuff like that. I just think it makes sense in a way, but hey, they cool with it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not with the whole using the death angle thing, but that's them. But yeah, Sasha, at least they're getting over as vicious heel. Natalia, they don't care. They don't care. They continue to boo her and they cheer when she got beat up. So they don't care about her talking about her dad and just trying to gain any form of sympathy. But we then went to the main event, the OC and Rollins and Strowman. Not a bad match at the end. It pretty much ended up with Rollins and Strowman winning the tag titles, surprisingly. Strowman had got the power slam on Anderson, I believe. Styles had tried to come in, but he got curb stomped. Pretty much Rollins and Strowman won the tag titles in. They celebrated, and then they just kind of looked at that Universal title Strowman did. I guess is still fighting over it, so don't be surprised this is a match of next pay-per-view. Now, I've seen WWE do this before, where they make the champion challenger, which is supposedly the tag champions now. We've seen this before, like somebody brought up to me. It's like John Cena and The Miz. I've seen that before, too, like these mixed match tag teams that somehow win the titles, all right? Now, with that, with Strowman and Rollins, it wasn't a bad match, but there's really up Gallows and Anderson. In case, I wouldn't be so sure because this is like the only title defense I feel like they've had. All right, unless there's one when I'm not counting here, but it's like they just had one title defense and now they defended it now, and now it's just bad because they didn't really have the belts for that long anyway, so they kind of lost them quick, and I feel like that kind of makes them look bad and everything. Just given what, excuse me. Given what I'm seeing here with Rollins and Strowman winning the tag belt. So it is surprisingly, it's almost like Seth Rollins 2015 when the guy had 2 belts. But is anybody going to care about this? Because one of these guys got to turn heel, all right? So one of them's going to turn each other. It looks like Strowman's going to be the one to turn heel on Seth anyway. So I could see where this is going from here. All right, I really do. Gallows and Anderson, I don't know why do you have these guys win the belt so fast just to have them lose it to Rollins and Strowman. I don't know, okay, and that's strange, but I guess Strowman is the next challenger, so we will see what can come from this. Okay, so I'm not sure what you can take from it, but we can see what will happens with this whole makeshift tag team thing. So the crowd was into it, but don't be surprised pretty soon when one of them does lose and they lose the belts. Prior to the next show next week or the next pay-per-view Clash of Champions, that's, I believe, all the belts on the line. So do not be surprised what happens when Strowman turns on Dolph Ziggler. Then maybe they're just waiting it out right now with him winning the title and everything. So there you go. But other than that, though, Raw, I will say Raw is entertaining. I did like some parts on here. I did like a lot about this show. I like the Becky promo. I thought heel Sasha was good. The tag title thing was a nice, surprising change. The King of the Ring tournament kicks off pretty good, too. Excuse me. Like I said, different commentary team. So it was some positives to take from this. Like I did like the whole Orton and Revival thing with the Shadow RKO and stuff. So there was some things I did like. I'm surprised that, like I said, as far as WWE didn't announce NXT going to USA Network, but I guess they wanted to just keep that a press release or something like that. So at least I'll have some positives and negatives to what's going on in this show, from the titles being changed to several other things too. But I enjoyed it. All right, some part of Raw was enjoyable, but I don't know, maybe some matches too short like King of the Ring, when I just thought that they just buried Sami Zayn as usual. So there you go on that. But there will be more matches next week and tomorrow night on SmackDown. So we will see what happens in the King of the Ring tournament from that point on too. So Raw had its, I don't know, up and downs, I felt like, throughout the entire night. But I did want to talk about that whole wow, what did I just forget? The whole NXT going to USA Network. I was about to say something else. But yeah, other than that, though, I'm going to roll from here. I will see you guys later. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about the show tonight. Tell me what you think about Raw tonight. There's a lot of news going around on what I'm hearing, alright? So there you go from that. But other than that, I'm going to go. I'm out of here. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890 on Twitter, folks. Follow me on that. Check out ED Pass Through. That's up right now. Post it up. Check it out, alright? But I'm going to go from here. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out. I'm just thirsty right now.